Once a Jap, always a Jap, said General John L. DeWitt. You will understand why we Niseis do not want to talk about this part of our lives. So many of us have gone to our graves without telling our children. Before I died, I felt that we owed our Issei parents to pass on their remarkable ways of facing life's challenges. We heard over and over again, kodomo no tameni, for the sake of the children.
My name is Kiyo Sato. I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters, all younger than I am. The students will say, "Why didn't you riot?" I said, "Or why didn't you get a lawyer? Why didn't you do this?" We were alone, totally alone. When your president signs an order that says banish anyone with more than 1/16 Japanese blood, you got no place to go. No place to go but to each other. And thank goodness we had that. You know, December 7th, everybody seems to remember that. But on that day, we were out on a farm. No radio was on. I think it was broken. It was a happy day. And when I went to school on Monday, I didn't know what was going on because none of my friends were talking to me. Imagine, just like night and day, you know. And I tried to say hi, and that person pretended they didn't see me. So from then on, it was hell to pay. Yeah. One by one, Niseis were quitting, one by one, to help their families, you know. And my parents said, "So you stay on as long as you can." I think I was probably one of the last holdouts. I remember the time Mickey Psyche had to take over his whole family. People my age, you know? And I thought to myself, well, gosh, what will I do if that happened and my father was taken away? So that's how it was. And it was, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the future is. Your future is totally ruined. You had this wonderful goal, you know, you're going to get this education and you're going to have this career and all that, and all of a sudden all that is totally gone. So it wasn't easy for the Niseis.
Were you almost preparing yourself for your father to be taken?
Yeah. Like my cousin said, her father had a small suitcase already packed right by the door, because he didn't know. You know, I wouldn't probably been surprised if my father was taken, and then I don't know how I would have faced that.
Were there some things that you were almost getting ready for? Did you kind of know what you were going to do though, if your father was taken? Like, well,
one thing right away I thought, he's wearing those dirty old boots irrigating the farm, you know, and they'll probably take him just as is, as they've done so many people, see, just as is. In fact, Mr. Mizukami was in the Sacramento Bee with a torn t-shirt pruning out in Cortland. And when Mrs. Mizukami saw that picture, she was devastated, not only because he was labeled as a Jap spy, but because he had torn clothes on, you know? Yeah. So I thought to myself, my father will have those dirty, muddy boots. So I was going to, if the FBI agent put him in the car, I'm going to take his Sunday shoes, my mother had always that polished for him, and throw it in the window for him, you know, at least that. But those are the crazy little things that you think about, yeah. I was the only one that was privy to discussions within the family. My mother said, we've got to have our children be happy and secure. And none of this was discussed, none, until after they all went to bed. Then we discussed our plans. Yeah. And this was another thing about the Iseis. It was always for kodomo no tameni. That means for the sake of the children. We heard that all the time. That was their goal in life, for the sake of the children. And it's pretty amazing what they did. This is why these children who came out of camp, they had a good time. You interview my brothers and sisters of different ages, my brother will say, oh, we had dances in the barracks, you know, or we played baseball. And we did that. This was the Iseis and the older Iseis who made sure that the children were happy. Even though we were so poor, you know, we knew that they were always going to be there. Yeah. And every child needs to have that. At least one person who will say, I'm with you, you know, all the way.